One of the bright spots so far this year, and really it's been kind of the talk of the entire NBA. Dalton Knecht has just been phenomenal. It's funny, Mark, because a lot of people said once the Lakers got him at 17 and he fell to 17, everybody's kind of sitting back. And I didn't know that much about him. And typically I'm not watching college basketball the way others might be, but everybody was like, wow, Lakers got a guy. They got a guy. This guy, he'll be able to help right away just because he was in college for as long as he was, 23 by the time, the NBA season starts. Even with everybody saying what they said, and even with this could potentially be the steal of the draft, what were your expectations of Knecht to start the year? And as you sit here today, how big of a factor do you think he could become for the Lakers on a consistent basis through 82 games? And now everybody knows this guy is a pure shooter. By the way, not just a shooter, can take the ball to the basket, can create for himself. There's a lot of things that he can do, but just the evolution from before the season started, what you thought, and then what you think of what this guy can be the rest of the way.
Yeah, well, when the Lakers selected Dalton Knecht at number 17, I thought he was going to make an immediate impact because of his shooting resume. And the Lakers have lacked having consistent shooting, frankly, ever since the Russell Westbrook trade. So it was an immediate need the Lakers needed to address. Now, I did not anticipate him scoring 37 points against Utah. I felt that he would have rotation minutes, but not to the same extent he's had. But look, Dalton Knecht has shown that he's not just a great shooter, but he's very consistent. He's very confident. He's very methodical with his, shooting regimen. And I think, in fairness to him, he has bigger aspirations than just to be a shooter. And when I caught up with him before during training camp, he told me that he wants to be a complete player.
Hmm.
And when I revisited that topic last week, during JJ Redick's press conferences, he was mentioning that, look, he still has a ways to go defensively, also has a ways to go with defensive rebounding. But JJ was very high on how he's been moving off the ball, very high on how he's cutting, very high on how he's handling corner crashes. And I think when you put all those things into context, JJ Redick's words when he said that he's optimistic that he'll be a pretty good NBA player, I think should resonate a lot with Laker fans. Dalton Knecht is not just a spot-up shooter.
Sure.
He is a reliable role player. He's a competitor. He's a student of the game. He's young as a rookie, but he has an old school spirit. His pregame routine, he's incorporated JJ Redick's after talking with him. He studies players like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker with how they move off the ball, Kevin with how he uses his footwork. Obviously, all these players are different right now than what Dalton is, but the fact that he's already having that kind of mindset
Hmm.
of studying other greats is a real testament to his maturity.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know when he was coming out of the draft, and a lot of people would talk about him, and all you heard, it's not that they didn't say that this guy can also drive the ball to the basket, he can slash, he could create for himself, but everything was about, have you seen this guy shoot? He's a sniper. And I think what you said about the Lakers not having any true shooters, guys that you could really depend on, and you're right about since the Russ trade, right? That there are a lot of guys that either they had snipers back in 2020 when they won the NBA championship, or they traded some players away in the process when they got Russell Westbrook. But the immediate thought was, wow, they got a shooter again. And then as you just got into summer league and you got into training camp and you saw some of those preseason games, it takes me back to that game against the Phoenix Suns. He can shoot, and he is an elite shooter, and he had absurd numbers. What was the game he had? What did he go? Was it 9 of 12 from the 3-point line? And the game before that, he was 5 of 10, and he was 2 for 4 against the Spurs before that. I mean, you add all that up, he was shooting 60+% from the 3-point line. But my favorite highlights of Dalton Knecht was, let me fake the pass to D'Angelo Russell, go strong to the hoop, and dunk the ball. Let me slash, and instead of trying to lay it up, I'm going to go up with 2 hands and dunk the ball. For some of those shooters that you're accustomed to in the NBA, I'll use a guy like JJ Redick as an example. Players like that are not doing what Dalton Knecht is doing as aggressive. He's also bigger. He's got good length. I mean, he's got a great NBA body. That to me has been the part that I've got most excited about, because now you got defenders saying to themselves, well, I got no choice but to play up on him. And because I have to play up on him, now he's got the ability to go right past me. That he's not just one threat. I thought there was a game against Orlando. I know Lakers lost the game, but Gary Harris, one of the better defenders in the NBA. I remember listening to the broadcast and they were saying Gary Harris is all over Dalton Knecht. Wherever he goes, he goes. And immediately I said to myself, like, how great is that? You got to take one of the best defenders on the Orlando Magic and you have to put him on Dalton Knecht. That's going to free up opportunities for Reeves, for LeBron, for AD. So I really feel like he's got such a trickle effect to the rest of this team.
Yeah, I think another telling part about what makes Dalton Knecht special and that he's very valuable to the Lakers is that the anecdote that Rob Pelinka shared after drafting him, that JJ Redick was immediately drawing up plays on the whiteboard, that was cool and fun to hear. But sometimes you do wonder, is that just post draft press conference speak, right? Is that actually going to play out in reality? And we've seen it plays out in reality. And LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they've shared that they tell Dalton, hey, we want you to shoot even more. And so let's not get it twisted. It's not like he's climbed the depth chart past those stars. They're going to get more of the touches. But I think it is telling that, you can make the case that he is getting the third most plays drawn up for him behind LeBron and AD.